We had about 122,000 people who signed a petition for the Gulf Coast Recovery Act. And with our other partners, the Ella Baker Center, Color of Change, several other church and student and veterans groups, we delivered the petition to Senator David Vitter's office in Louisiana the day before Thanksgiving, with the petitions wrapped around frozen turkeys. We were able to get a lot of media coverage because of that, and thus we were able to help kind of instigate a little bit of change in that area. And that's what we do, really. We partner with groups who have the knowledge and have the bases on the ground for different actions, and make stories that will hopefully move people and get people to cause change. Without the stories that we've been hearing for these past couple of days, the stories that you all have been telling, the theories, the facts, the heartbreaking stories, the tales of triumph, without that information, we are really nothing, because what we do is amplify your group's messages to make sure that they get a voice and people hear them. Robert said we have 23 million views on our videos. We're getting about 1.5 million views per month now, which is pretty astonishing. I think the reason why Robert wanted me to speak also is because we're actually two separate organizations. Brave New Films deals a lot with what Robert was speaking about, some of the C4 activities, attacking Fox and going after wrongdoers in the government. My side, the Brave New Foundation side, is strictly C3, and we deal with strictly social justice issues, and we try to make a difference with those. Together, I think that we have been able to make a difference, and moving forward with what's going on with the new technology, with the convergence of television and the internet, we've been able to start a couple of new shows. One of them is called In Their Boots, and it's about Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. Nothing to do with the war, but what happens to these vets when they come home. What's happening with PTSD and traumatic brain injury and all of the other financial and emotional difficulties the service members and their families are having. Only 1% of our country is either serving or has a family member that is serving. There's another 99% that doesn't realize what happens when these people come home from war. So we've organized this show with the help of 40 different groups who are on the ground doing the work. And hopefully together we can amplify and have solutions. As Robert said, actions are very important to us, so we have a solutions page on the website so that people can actually take action. I'm going to let Robert talk about our other new show, which is Meet the Bloggers, which just premiered last week at Marcos's Daily Kos.
So if we look at the distribution side of Brave New Films and Foundation for a minute, first there were the long films that many of you saw and spread around, outfoxed, Walmart, Iraq for Sale. Then the current phase has been focusing on these short video pieces. But we've discovered that there's again, the technology leading us, there's an amazing opportunity to essentially do high quality production, and the distribution is free. We don't need to buy CBS. We don't need to have those endless discussions that many people, well-meaning people in Los Angeles would have. The only solution is to raise $1 billion and buy a network. History gone over dead, fortunately. But we felt that it was important that, as my grandmother would always say to me, don't kvetch, do something about it, that we sort of tackled the problem head on. And weekly shows are a habit that are ingrained in people, for better or for worse. Now, every time we launch a video campaign, it is like launching an individual movie. And some people respond, some people don't respond. But if you can build weekly habit, as you all know, many of you may have some shows you watch regularly, you don't watch, there's a great chance to have an ongoing audience. So the geniuses that are at Brave New Films came to Jimmy and I and started talking about the technology, and they said, we can do shows online that will look as good as anything you see on CNN or MSNBC. And we both said nonsense, and then 6 months later they've been working and have proved us wrong. So seeing the technology, and personally, I was like elevating, because the possibilities are extraordinary. I mean, it's a real breakthrough. If you can have things that look this good in the form we're used to, not the content, obviously, but in the form, with music, with split screen, with graphics, all of those goodies, then the world is really open. So we created this show, Meet the Bloggers, the idea being to go up Friday against Meet the Press, change the media narrative, and most importantly, or I think almost equally important, is, as we were saying before, the excuse, oh, they're not good on television, or do they have experience? We can show the traditional media on its dying legs. Here are some incredibly intelligent women, people of color, people you don't see. And I'm going to show you a clip from Meet the Bloggers in a moment, and just look at the difference in terms of the faces you'll see. And then we've built in a huge interactive piece. This show will have a guest of the week, and we're getting amazing guests this week. It'll be Senator Harry Reid talking about energy, then it'll be Rachel Maddow, then it's going to be Michael Moore. I mean, we're getting a variety of really interesting folks, and then people can, if you watch it live, you send in a question. So literally, while the show is on the air, the host reads the question, and by September, you'll be able to do an iChat where you ask a question, a video question, you hit a button, you send it in, and you'll see your question on the TV screen that the host will respond to. So this is another tool in terms of being able to create community, and we won't just analyze the issues, we will be asking and suggesting a variety of actions. So if we could show the brief clip from Meet the Bloggers.
Welcome back to the show. We are now going to meet the bloggers. And our bloggers this week are Marcy Wheeler. She blogs as Empty Wheel on FiredogBlake.com. She's also the author of Anatomy of Deceit about the pre-war intelligence, the Bush administration's justification for the war, and the CIA leak of Valerie Plame. She's also the world's leading expert on Karl Rove. Did you know that?
You want to say anything else?
Liliana Segura is a writer and activist living in New York. She's a staff writer and associate editor for alternate.org. And Baratunde Thurston is a comic and vigilante pundit, which always sounds fun to me. He blogs at jackandjillpolitics.com. He's coming to us actually live today from Netroots Nation, which is whoop to the whoop. Terrific. And what we're going to do is, before we start talking about how Karl Rove...
Can you freeze that there a minute? Thank you. So you can see it. It's at meetthebloggers.org, but you just take a look, and it does not look like any Sunday morning show any of us have ever seen. It's the very beginning. I think that the possibilities here are limitless, because in building an audience, in building a community, in changing the media narrative, and getting these incredibly talented bloggers into the traditional and the mainstream media, we can have a strong, impactful effect over a period of time. So again, this is our momentum. This is what we see as a huge, important step going forward. There are the opportunities to do many shows, because the costs come down actually with each show, because there's a small studio, which used to be literally a place where I got my hair cut right next to our offices. It's been transformed now. 3 people managed to do all of the tech work to put this out. You didn't get to see it, but when you see it online, you'll see the crawl underneath. You'll see the graphics. We're playing around with some of the graphics now, trying to have some fun with what they say, but not becoming Fox News in the process. And over time, we'll be able to have all kinds of guests on to talk about subjects of substance. So that's our momentum. We look forward to talking with you further about it. Thank you.
Thank you.